is ready.
A very good map.
Know your place.
A unique. Sweet. 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 A unique.
Among the Karui, conflict often results in changes in rank and respect. In this situation, I believe that means you could demote some and promote others, if you choose me.
Push others down, promote myself. It's the simple result of a complicated plan.
Among the Karui,
Your body is strong.
In this vast, callous machine,
A unique.
watch as the production of misery and pain.
I had a job to do here, and I failed it. Treasures are not given for failure. They are...
A unique. We found the map. A unique.
Behold, purity. You deny a god.
Right, where was I?
A unique. A very good map. A unique. A unique.
Quick to end.
Sweet. A unique.
I really do hate the idea of dying, but...
A unique.
You're more savage than any animal. What do you want from me? When bargaining is no longer enough, you
Bah, and hurry up and decide. Best me or serve me. You're lucky
Sweet. A unique.
Not all murders, Ari.
Swift end.
Hi, this is Bayer here, and this is my second build of the league. So I didn't expect myself to have that much time. Managed to, free up some time here and there, mostly because I'm in the middle of a pretty rushed work project. Okay, normally my work projects take about they have a 3-month development time. This one's kind of 1 month, so I've been really busy as a result. So I figured that the only way to actually like enjoy PoE and at the same time get my work done, at the same time resolve my house, I have too many things going on, is to just not do content. So for the first 2 weeks, I pretty much told myself I'm not going to do any content at all. I did a bit of content at the start for the More Mischief Elementalist. That was actually a really good build. It cost under 20 divs or so, and then got up to 25 to 30 million DPS, and then had about 100k EHP. Mobility and clear for that was okay, not too bad, but it doesn't scale beyond dot cap, right? So dot cap is 30 mil. You don't scale beyond that because you can't go higher than 30 mil. And so I was kind of looking for the next build to build for, and one of the things I was looking out for is actually Trickster or Energy Blade stacking, or ES stacking. ES stacking has been really strong last league. It has seen some nerfs this league in some sense. So bunch of ES scaling for Trickster got reduced from the armor from one of the ascendancies. This one over here in particular, Escape Artist, but rest of it kind of stayed the same. So Ethereal Edge has, Ephemeral Edge also has kind of gotten nerfed. But I'm not going Ephemeral Edge, as you can tell. This is Molten Strike of Zenith, and the damage here is kind of busted. So I decided to just put all my investment into the second build, because the first build only cost 20 divs. I started accumulating currency, like, so by the end of week 1, I probably had about 250 divs, I think. And then I started looking for things to put money into. And so a couple of mechanics I was very keen on trying. One, I was very keen on trying the new Whispers of, ignore the corruption of this. I have really nice stuff, but just saying, just look at the items, the base mechanics of the items in itself. So for Whispers Infinity, what was great about this is I saw Junk's tech. So the tech was to basically use skills cost ES instead of mana or life. That allows you to use Blade for Thratus, and Blade for Thartus actually will apply then temp chains, less duration, hex touch, and then you use Coiling Whisper to get souls. With this combination, these combination of items, you just need a amulet slot and a ring slot. You pretty much get 225% increased attack speed, and that attack speed usually is very hard to come by. And Molten Strike Zenith really loves attack speed, okay, because attack speed gets you to the point where you get you to your 5th hit, and then you just do a box ton of damage. Even though MS, like Molten Strike Zenith kind of got nerfed this league, it's still super strong if you have the attack speed for it, or you rather if you have the scaling for it, right? So I was thinking I want to use the soul tag, I want to get attack speed. Originally this was supposed to be a Divine Smite build. I ended up not going there. I ended up doing Divine Smite because I tried it for a bit. It is nice for clear, but it's like absolutely abysmal single target. And if you want to look at single target wise, you're better off something with Molten Strike, doing Molten Strike. And then if you do Molten Strike, Ephemeral Edge actually is kind of meh. I feel like it's kind of meh. It's great for probably Valdos, where you can like get insane amounts of ES and then be super tanky. But if you just care about like T17s, you just care about like farming content, I think damage is probably more important. Damage and clear is more important. So I've gone Molten Strike with Zenith for that reason. Yeah. So with these two items, the other synergy is this one pretty much gives you a whole bunch of ES. You can get up to 472 ES on this. It's almost like a helmet slot, another helmet slot. So any ES stacking build will love this. For Junk's case, he used Forbidden Rite because he wanted to go self-cast. I, on the other hand, kind of wanted to do something more of an attack-based build. I've seen what Palstron did already. I've seen already what Junk did. And I felt myself, I kind of want to do a attack build. I originally was planning to do an Ephemeral Edge build, but as I looked at the numbers and looked at the trade-offs, I kind of felt like there's no point really going to Ephemeral Edge, really. If you can go an Energy Blade, it's got much faster attack, it's got more damage, and what it costs you is pretty much an offhand, right? And there's a lot of synergies for it this league, so yeah, let me just run through them as well. Run through these. So Chevron's Revelation. Why am I using this? One, flat ES. Getting flat ES is probably one of the hardest things to do. Percentage ES, you can kind of get it with decent amounts of int. I do want to get maybe about 1000 plus int eventually, but for now it's like this. All the flat ES from here, from the chest armor, from chevrons, from helm, is pretty much giving me a let's say if I take off energy blade, about 16k ES, and then with energy blade, that's about 10k. If I were to use ephemeral edge here, I probably get 20k ES because ephemeral edge gives me 50% increase ES, right? But yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's the core synergy. Why chevrons as well? So chevrons works well with Trickster because it doesn't matter if you cannot recharge or regenerate, and the reason why it doesn't matter is because you have Soul Drinker. You can just rely on leech. That's also why I have a Writhing Jar flask. This is if I need to leech on demand. You also have a Ghost Reaver here, so yeah, lots of leech sustain, really good here. And Chevs also gives you 40 mana regen a second. So the question you might be asking is, what's the mana regen for? Because none of your skills use mana, and your Blade for Tartars uses energy shield. So what's the point of this? And the answer is actually tincture. So tincture uptime is extremely good on this because you can pretty much offset the tincture degen just off this alone. All right. You can watch the thing just. Oh wait, no, not here. I need to go into a map or something. Then it ticks down. Let's see. Let's go to. Yeah, let's go to this. Okay, so let's turn this on and just wait. Now it's starting to tick down. So pretty good uptime. If you are attacking, you have mana leech as well, which is from here, and then you have instant leech as well. So you could probably sustain this, I think, about close to 40 seconds, which is enough time to like DPS phase the boss with the amount of damage I have, right? So very good synergies here in terms of having tincture uptime, and my neighbor's sneezing. That's so loud. And yeah, so that's the main gist of it, for the ideas. Okay, why energy blade? So energy blade, if you look at the flat you get from this, it's about 7,000 lightning damage on the top end, and then you can pretty much, it's like if you want to compare the strength stacking, for strength stacking Alberons to get this amount of flat, you would need about 7,000 strength. Or you would need 3,000 strength with probably an original Cinder scale alien, the Alberons at the same time, right? So with Trickster you can get this relatively cheaply. I think this whole build so far has been less than I would say 200 divs. It's still expensive, but not like ridiculously expensive. I've sniped most of my pieces too, so I think the main cost of my gear is mostly the jewels. The jewels alone are maybe about 50-60 divs, and then gems and jewels probably about 100 divs, and then the rest is just gear, right? So yeah, insane flat from this. So let's talk about what to talk about first. Do you want to talk about parting first, or okay, let's talk about items. So for your weapon, because this is a energy blade build, your weapon doesn't really matter. You want the episode socket on the two-ender, you can buy this for cheap. This was 10c for me. Then you spend the rest of the cost just getting sockets on it in the colors you want. I could definitely replace some of these out. I'm leveling like Blood and Sand and Determ, but you can probably replace one of these out for like Blood Rage, which is like really nice. So Leap Slam, Frost Blink, Stone Golem is just during bosses you have extra yes, and armor and evasion. Helmet, you want as high ES as possible. You want to get the physical damage hits taken as chaos, so to reduce your phys hit. Maximum line resistance on your suffix is probably on the implicit is probably the only other implicit that's useful. I've only used lessers here because, or is it greater? I want greater here, I want lesser here, but I'm only using lessers and greaters for now because I'm just really cheap and I haven't figured out if these are going to be my late game items, right? I'm locked in these slots yet, but yeah. So these are going to cost you maybe about 10 to 15 divs, might be 20 depending on how expensive things get. But yeah, accuracy, because you are not getting resolute technique, so you need about 3k accuracy. So you need both your glove and helmet slot to have accuracy to just be able to hit stuff. Yeah. What you're looking out for is int, empty suffix, and resistances in the priority of int first, and then empty suffix, then resistances. Empty suffix will allow you to craft resistances if you need it. Okay. Chest armor, you want as high ES and evasion as possible. So T1 prefixes on your T1 and prefixes. You want implicits to be fizz damage from his taken as chaos, so you reduce your fizz hit again. Frenzy charge every 15 seconds is great because you don't really have other sources of frenzy charges. You can definitely run Blood Rage if you want, but I think this is a lot more reliable over time in the maps. You can get endurance charge generation from the Merc. I'll show you what the Merc has later on. And yeah, then other than T1 prefixes, you want int on the suffix, res on the suffix, and empty socket for increased attributes, right? So you can pretty much buy prefixes and then use Eldritch Currency to reforge your suffixes and try to get lucky. And for me, this is like, you can buy the prefixes for about 6 to 8 divs and then roll the suffixes within a 2 or 3 div range. So it's not very expensive. If you know what you're looking for, you can budget it out. It's quite accessible. Chevrons, you don't need implicits. Implicits only because I'm at this point I'm already min-maxing, and to be honest, like, this cost me 8 divs. So yeah, it's not that expensive either. It's just you want to get a chevrons off the shelf with no catalyst, and it's gonna cost you less than 50C or something. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't even know what it costs right now. Same with Calling Whisper. You don't need the implicits. Natural implicit on this is chaos res. Your CI, it doesn't matter. So if you can get the corruption, that'd be great. If you can't get a corruption, it doesn't really matter. Just run it. With this Infinity, you want as high an ES as possible. You can snipe these because people tend to misprice them. Look for 390 ES and above, and then catalyst it yourself. You want as high a reduced maximum mana as possible because this reduces your max mana pool, which also reduces the cost of your charters and also the cost of your tinctures or your tincture burn. All right. Implicit actually doesn't do anything for you because you don't recharge. So if you can get a corruption that is useful implicits, that's great. I bought this for 3 divs, okay? No one's building an attack-based build with Whispers of Infinity, but very few people are, so you're not gonna see a lot of competition. This was sitting on the market for almost an hour, so yeah. Alright, gloves, Vile Strike skills, target 1, increase damage per 100, int, accuracy, yes, and suppression on the suffix. If you are lacking suppression, you can get res if you want as well. I definitely can do much better on gloves. I just can't find any so far that is cheap to get or operate. For belt, you can run the Baited Breath belt, but craft one yourself. This is pretty simple. You buy the base for about 1 to 2 divs. So it's an 85 crystal belt with Baran influence or Conqueror influence. And then you just spam dense fossils on this. Just single resonator dense fossils until you hit double res on the prefixes. So I got lucky here. I hit T2 flat and T1 percentage ES, and then I also hit lightning damage. So I hit T1 lightning, or I'm not sure if there's more than T1. So I hit lightning damage, and for me, like, that prefixes was done, and all I needed to do was just lock prefix, reforge suffix, or lock prefix and just veil chaos, and that's what I did. I just veil chaos it until I got strength and int, and then tried to exalt it for something useful. Got stun duration, which is garbage, but doesn't matter. And then you just craft on the last remaining suffix. Yeah, usually in this case is resistances because you already have if you already have the strength and int, you can only craft resistances. If you get resistance instead, you can always craft on the strength and int. Yeah. Anyway, let's go to boots. Okay, this is a bit expensive. Okay, this is where you get your ailment immunity from. You can drop determination for purity of elements if you feel like you need the res and the ailment immunity. But in this case, I found this for 20 divs, and it was like, I don't know why it's 20 divs. I have absolutely no idea. I was seeing on the market, I was like, the guy's, I don't know why he's selling for 20. The fracture alone already puts it at above 20, and then the quality already puts it even higher than that. and it was already crafted, right? It had implicit done. What was the implicit? I didn't even check. A grand engrader. Okay, it already had the implicits done, and it will, and I have not changed this. The only thing I've done is use this as swap res. Okay, so I don't know. I got lucky, but you just need ES, I think, and then movement speed, and then res and int on the suffixes. Get your ailment immunity from purity elements if you want to save money. Yeah. Prismatic tincture. You want to get increased effect and the pen. You can get the one that has even more increased effect but has more burn rate. But then you have lower uptime. I prefer this. It's just a lot more reliable. But yeah. Okay. Worms just for on-demand recovery. Let's say if boss is entering an invulnerable phase, you need to hit you need to get recovery back. You have no recharge, you have no regen, so you just hit the worms, and then you get everything back. Quicksilver, Granite, Jade. It probably eventually at some point I need to drop this and get like triple res flasks, Sapphire, Topaz, and Ruby, but for now this will do. Alright, let's go to the gemlinks. So gemlinks, you notice this is unlinked. There is a rune graph that is useful. I'll show you that later. So these are all your single link, single socket, don't care if it's linked skills. So Leap Slam, Frost Blink, some Stone Golem, Blood and Sand. Last one is just for leveling. Probably could swap this out for Blood Rage. Abyss socket here, your Abyss jewels you want as high in as possible and as high as ES as possible. I bought this for about 3 divs, I think. Fall link here, you can put the fall link anywhere, but basically you want enhance, mark on hit, sniper's mark, and energy blade. So energy blade benefits from quality, and both mark on hit. Sniper's mark, I think mark on doesn't benefit, so sniper's mark benefits from quality as well. Enhanced fall is expensive, so if you can't afford it, you know, don't get it. Maybe get enhanced tree. I'm not sure how much the enhanced tree costs. So this is your main damage skill. This is Molten Strike Zenith. You can get 21, 23 if you want. I don't think it's worth it, so I just went 20, 23. You can buy the 23, 123 and just level it yourself. Multi-strike support, no awakened multi yet. I can afford it, but I just don't want to. Slower projectiles, this is for shotgunning. Anyone who's not running slow projectiles on this is a pepeg. I don't know why people don't. It's just people are like, oh, I'm not going to run slow projectiles because it doesn't add to my POB DPS or something. But this is what actually constitutes a majority of the DPS for Molten Strike Zenith. You want the balls to just fall straight down, and for that to happen, you need slow projectiles. And then you shotgun all the balls, right? You don't need multi-proj on this because it already fires 3 and the 5th attack fires 5 additional. So that means your 5th attack, which is your main damage, is not going to get more than like... if you add Awakened GMP, you don't get like more than 10% more damage for your 5th attacks. So yeah, don't get Awakened GMP, it's a waste of money. Awakened Elemental damage with attacks is mostly for... you can't reflect, right? So you can do reflect maps. And then volatility, very important here because of your huge range on this, and you want to make, huge range on energy blade, and you want to make the range even bigger. And then you use lucky to get 50% more multiplier overall. Okay, so this is my gear and my gem sockets. Let's talk about the Mercenary because, let's talk about my passives first because I think that's probably the second, like it's more important than Mercenary. So, Escape Artist definitely required because of your bases. Spell Soul Drinker definitely required because of Leech and attack speed, and Leech energy shield effects are not removed when energy shield is filled, so you have like energy shield over Leech. One step ahead, really good for T17 maps, temp chains, whatever, anything that slows your action speed down. This makes you like a jug, so you know, definitely take this. This is mandatory. So the last one is you can either go here and get Spellbreaker, but you have to drop chevrons, or you go here and get 2 extra frenzy charges. I've gone here because it enables frenzy charge, max frenzy charges with this 15-second gain, and then also the endurance charges from the Mercenary is going to last longer, which means I have better uptime. So pathing and jewels. Okay, this is where it gets really expensive. You can figure out how you want to optimize this without the expensive jewels. You probably can get by with just cobalts or something, but yeah, I'm just going to show you what it is. You figure the rest out yourself. So path down here, you get this socket. You want to put your Light of Meaning here. Light of Meaning gets a lot of nodes here because you're going to path to the bottom. You're also getting the reservation nodes here, so you end up getting a lot of value off Light of Meaning. These nodes are like ultra valuable as well now because this is now 5% and 7% ES. I'll eventually get there once I start leveling. Once I hit 99, I'll get 1 point here and 1 point to the internode here. Yep. So here you go, your first Runegraph Fortress, 40% increased global defenses, but at the cost of 10% reduced attributes. Overall, it gives you more years, so definitely take this. Then you path, maybe I'll show you the bottom pathing first. So you path down here, and what you're going to do is you're going to get a lot of suppression. Why? And the reason why you get a lot of suppression, and as well as this, Magebane, is because your dex is not going to add your evasion with one of the other masteries. And also, from this area alone, you get like 4 plus 10 plus another 4, that is 18. And then this gives you about 32, I think, or high 20s, okay? And in this area alone, you get like 40 to 40%, I think, 40 something percent suppression. That takes a lot of pressure off suppression for you, because if you notice, I only have suppression on one piece, which is the glove, 6%. You can get the rest from here and from here. And if you get the here as well, you can kind of just drop it entirely from gear and even some of these nodes. Yeah. Anyway, we go up here. Okay, and the reason why we're pathing through here as well is not only does it give you a lot of free suppression, it also gives you reduced skill effect duration. So skill effect duration is needed for Coiling Whisper souls to the function to work. So when 90% of your hex duration expires, you eat 1 soul. You play for Tartars, you have temp chains, less duration, and hex touch on it. Wait, did I not cover these? Oh, okay, maybe I forgot about the gem links. Okay, let's cover gem links now. Grace, Enlighten, Discipline, Determination. Drop Determination if you don't need it. I just happen to have enough reservation for it. Less duration support, Blade for Stratus, Temporal Chains level 1, Hex Touch level 1. Do not level these, do not quality these. You can quality Blade for Tartus for more AoE. Less duration support you want as high as possible for both quality and levels. Right, so this makes your curse duration really, really low, which means they expire really, really fast. And then you always get souls when you run past mobs, right? Because your Blade Fall is going to auto-apply curses for you with Hex Touch. You reduce the duration even further by going down here. In Junk's build, he anoints it. I don't think it's worth it here because I can just path here and get this. So going here gives me, yeah, I can just get Arcane Focus. So that's more like 5% more damage or something. Then path down here, get another socket. This one is a Corrupted Blood Jewel. Really nice, has double int, lightning damage, and attack speed. Cost me about a div. Pass through here. You want resistances because you want to get attributes on suffixes on most of your gear. And then accuracy rating here. And gain accuracy rating equals to your intelligence. That gives you like almost enough accuracy to hit stuff, right? Path down here, precise technique is 40% more free damage. Yeah. Down here, get point blank, so 30% more free damage on your molten shell balls. No, molten on your molten strike balls. And then you go here for even more reduced projectile speed, and down here for less projectile speed. So this is what gives you your shotgun, makes your single target amazingly strong. It is very old tech. Brutu, and I ran this in like, I don't know, what was it? Was it Arch Nemesis or the one after Arch Nemesis? Or was it Kalandra? Kalandra League, yeah. Ran in Kalandra, and I'm pretty sure Rue ran it in Arch Nemesis or something. I can't remember. Then you get the suppression here to cap it off, and then you get a cluster jewel. I'll cover the cluster jewels later because that's not as important. So you pop up here, you can get the inno here because it's like 30 in is like really worthwhile. Pop down here, you want the additional projectile because that's more damage, attack speed, and then you get the non-vial strike skills, target 1 additional nearby enemy. So attack mastery here, you target 2 additional enemies total, so 3 enemies every time you attack. Pop down here, you get your suppression nodes, and then another rune graph. So rune graph with the jeweler, 10% increased damage for each unlinked socket and equipped 2-handed weapon. So in this case, you have 6 unlinked sockets, none of them are linked, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even the Abyss is considered an unlinked socket. So you get 60% increased damage for a single point. That is super good value. Yeah. So you get suppression here, you should cap a suppression like this. Go down here, instant leech, as well as life and hit on hit. Mana on hit, and some attack damage leech as life and mana. You can get a cluster for this instead of this, but I've chosen to get this because I think it's good value for points. Down here, get the socket. Down here, you have Ancestral Vision. 100% suppression is going to give you 50% avoid ailments, and then the boot gives you 50, so that's 100% avoid ailments. Ghost Dance with high evasion for decent recovery on hit. Soul Thief for recovery on kill. Ghost Reaver for even more leech. Down here, Energy Shield Mastery for 100% increased Energy Shield from equipped helmet. And then you path here, And then you get Whispers of Doom. Whispers of Doom is so you can apply both your temp chains as well as your, what was the thing called again? Sniper's Mark, right? And then you get the last Rune Graft. So this Rune Graft treachery is 15% increased reservation efficiency of skills. All of your skills also affect enemies. The only thing that negatively impacts you is Grace, because you have a chance to miss, I think. But I don't think it is that much of a problem. More reservations means you can like reserve more stuff. Alright, let's talk about clusters and jewels and the really expensive stuff with this build. Okay, so let's talk about clusters in general. I've sniped these cheap. They were under 15 div each because no one's going for them. The intro is too low and nobody cares about Auras for some reason. But yeah, these are sword nodes. Most people prefer attack speed on these. I don't really quite care about them because I'm getting free attack speed of the souls. But definitely if I could swap out, let's say, the Auras for attack speed, it would still be a more damage. It would still be more damage. But those are like 60, 80 divs or something. So this is less than 15. Pretty accessible. I don't think it'll stay less than 15 if everyone wants to play this build, but you know, it is what it is. So you want 35 increase effect, or res, or other resistances. You want strength or int, depending on your requirements, and then you want your as high as possible ES roll, right? Sword damage. The only things that work for you is lightning damage, sword damage, and attack damage, right? Don't go for anything else. Maybe, yeah, two-handed as well. So I'm not sure if there's a two-handed. Yeah, there's a two-handed one. So yeah, that's four different that you can use, four different classes you can use. You can try crafting it yourself if you want as well. And then down here, same cluster. Instead of int, this is all attributes, so this is a better cluster. But you know, yeah, this one was they're both under 15 divs each. So let's talk about the jewels. Really expensive part now. So Shrapnel Specialist, actually Shrapnel Specialist is still pretty cheap. I think it's 3 divines for this one, and this one is probably under 10, I think. 7 divines. So 10 divines for both. So Shrapnel Specialist basically gives you 50% of a Nimbus. So instead of doing 100%, so double damage, you do 50% more. So this is like 25% more damage per jewel. Really good value. Doesn't require you to use the ring slot, and that's the reason why I'm using this. This is kind of underrated at the moment. I have no idea why no one is. I have no idea why no one's investing in these sort of things, but whatever. Watcher's Eye, this one's amazing. Cost me 20 divs. I pretty much got the Fizz damage mod for free because Grace and this is 20. Grace and Discipline mods are 20 divs, so yeah. And this one is 20 something div, 24, 23. Gives you attributes, gives you global defenses. Really nice. Okay, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to take this build to Ubers, to T17s, to do whatever I want. I'm not sure if I want to make a build, another build on top of that, but I think this is kind of all there is to it. Probably will keep putting more currency in this, investing in this. I might even buy a Mage Blood eventually and then swap this out and then get more ES elsewhere and then get much better pieces on each individual piece. But yeah. If you would look at the POB, it will tell you I have about 260 mil single target damage on Guardians. And that's... Yeah, oh yeah, that's because of the Mercenary. I forgot, I was about to close out the video without talking about Mercenary. So Mercenary, this is meta, pretty much. Lightning damage is meta. Chaos damage with strength stacking is meta because of per kills. And basically, lucky damage is free now, 50% more effectively. And just straight off your Merc. So your Merc life, you get 50% more damage with this. And then Doriani's pretty much gives you like 2 or 3 times more damage, okay? So you get like 7 times more damage or something. No, not 7 times. 5-6 times more damage or something just because of your Merc. So with Doriani's, you get rings. These are going to be expensive. These are like 15 to 20 divs for decent ones. And you want to push your lightning rest as low as possible. So minus 200 is the ideal. You can also get it with Immortal Flash Belt. And then he's now like really squishy. You want to make up for it by giving him lots of armor. So his armor is like 16k right now. And the reason being is because you just get as high as armor roll as possible on Doriani's. You also want Formless Flame, and you want as much res as fire res as possible. So I've stacked fire res up to 211. You can probably even go higher than this, but with about this amount of armor and this amount of life, he should be quite safe. Then he also has endurance charges, right? Yeah. You can also anoint this for blind. Yeah. So gloves and boots are fire res, chaos res, and I think my ring has core res here, yeah, and this one's fire res. Really nice setup here. Oh, and then there's a recoup here. This was 20 divs, I think. Recoup, fire res, and then lightning res. And this one was like core res and lightning res. This one was 16 divs or something. Yep. The rest of it is pretty accessible. It's only the rings that are like expensive, so the rings are like 30 divs total. This is a 2 div wand that I bought really early. Good damage. You want an infamous kineticist, and you just generally want it to have double kinetic blast, and then haste. Alright, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys. I'm out. POB's in the description. If you want to know more about the build, just run to the POB. I'm not going to handhold you to everything. I've already given you enough in the video. Just look at the POB, figure things out yourself. Call me out if you think the configs are unfair, but I think it should be fair. Alright. See you guys. Oh yeah, what's the next plan? Okay, I'm gonna try to push EHP on this thing up to 200 to 300,000 if possible. That would mean probably a Mage Blood. But once I do that and have like 260 mil DPS, this build can pretty much do anything. Maybe except like the most rippiest of Valdos, but can pretty much do anything I want. Alright, see you guys. I'm out. Bye.